something strange happened in Ouagadougou. A vehicle no one recognized, a route that didn't make sense, and a stop, just long enough to trigger something behind the scenes. But the driver never knew what hit him. Within minutes, he was surrounded. No sirens, no chaos, just precision. But where did this vehicle come from? What was its purpose? Let's find out. In early 2025, the government of Burkina Faso introduced something that had never existed before in the country: a fully integrated citywide surveillance and emergency response system. It was called Security S24/7, and its goal was simple but ambitious: to give the state the ability to monitor public spaces in real time, detect threats or suspicious activity automatically, and intervene instantly. The system marked a turning point in how the country approached urban security, not through foreign-run counterterrorism programs, but through infrastructure it built, owns, and controls. The launch of Security S24/7 was not accidental or rushed. It came after years of rising pressure on the Burkina Faso government to respond faster and more effectively to both criminal threats and public safety issues in urban environments. Ouagadougou, the capital, had experienced repeated challenges in recent years, from sporadic terrorist threats to urban crime and traffic management failures. For a long time, the security response was reactive and manual. Police patrols were limited. Information often arrived too late. Coordination between units was slow. The system was overwhelmed not because of a lack of effort, but because of a lack of real-time tools. That is what Security S24/7 was built to fix. The project was launched officially on April 3, 2025, during the National Days of Patriotic Engagement and Citizen Participation, an annual event designed to promote active involvement between citizens and the state. The timing was deliberate. By presenting the launch as part of a national civic movement, the government positioned Security S24/7 not as a tool of control, but as a system built to protect public life, restore order, and make the city safer for everyone, especially in a time when many West African nations are struggling to keep up with evolving security risks. Security S24/7 is part of a broader national plan called Smart Burkina Faso, a long-term initiative launched by the country to digitally upgrade its infrastructure, public services, and governance systems. The SMART initiative includes things like digitized government services, smart agriculture, and energy monitoring. But Security S24/7 is its most high-stakes component, because it deals directly with people's movement, safety, and daily urban activity. The stakes are higher, the scrutiny greater, and the expectations much more visible. In practical terms, the system is designed to operate every hour of the day, every day of the week, hence the name. It works continuously, without pause, quietly observing key public areas like roadways, government buildings, markets, schools, and high-traffic zones. But it's more than just surveillance. It's a coordinated structure that involves cameras, command centers, trained operators, and mobile police units, all linked by a single goal: to shorten the time between a potential threat and the response needed to stop it. The vision for the system came from the country's security and digital development leadership, who had studied examples from cities like Kigali, Dubai, and Singapore, places where surveillance and response technologies are already deeply embedded in the daily rhythm of urban life. But unlike those cities, Burkina Faso was entering this space under entirely different conditions. The country is not wealthy. It is not globally connected through tech giants. It does not have unlimited resources. What it does have is a very clear sense of what happens when time is lost, when a delay in response can cost lives or destroy public trust. So the goal was not to build the most advanced system in the world. The goal was to build a system that works under Burkina Faso conditions, with Burkina Faso people, using a structure that could grow without dependence on foreign intelligence networks. What sets Security S24/7 apart from previous systems used in West Africa is the level of control and ownership. It is not a private project managed by outside contractors. It is not operated by a Western embassy. It is not tied to a foreign donor agency's agenda. It was built, funded, and is now managed by the Burkina Faso state through its national agencies and local personnel. This matters because for many years, security infrastructure in the region has been developed with heavy foreign involvement, often resulting in tools that are only partially available to national forces or not trusted by the local population. By contrast, the launch of Security S-24/7 was framed as a national asset, a digital wall that watches over the capital but remains accountable to it. It's part of a wider shift happening across the Sahel, where countries are beginning to reclaim sovereignty over how their internal threats are handled, not just militarily, but technologically. In this context, Burkina Faso's decision to go digital, but do it independently, is seen as a signal to both citizens and neighboring states. We are no longer waiting to be protected from the outside. We are building the capacity to protect ourselves. As of its launch, Security S-24/7 was already operational in Ouagadougou. The infrastructure was in place, the control room was staffed, the camera network was live. But the system still needed one thing to prove it could work: a real-world test. Not in a closed lab, not on paper, but in the streets. That test would come immediately after the launch, in the form of a simulation designed to track a suspicious vehicle across the city in real time. And it would answer the biggest question of all: could Security S-24/7 respond fast enough? Here's a reminder to please like and share the video and subscribe to our channel to watch more videos on Black culture, history, civilization, and identity. Let's continue now. On the same day that Security S-24/7 was officially launched in Ouagadougou, it was put to the test, not through statistics or a presentation, but through a live operational simulation. The authorities chose not to wait months or conduct a low-key pilot. Instead, they staged a real-time security scenario right on the streets of the capital, with thousands of unaware civilians going about their day. It was a bold move, and the outcome would determine whether the system was functional or just another unfinished project.
Once again, Captain Ibrahim Traoré, the fearless revolutionary leader of Burkina Faso, has proven why he's the worst nightmare of Africa's corrupt, spineless leaders. This man doesn't play games, doesn't bow to foreign masters, and certainly doesn't underestimate the power of his people. Traoré is here to build a Burkina Faso that stands tall, a Burkina Faso that feeds itself, a Burkina Faso that exports its bounty to the world, not as a beggar but as a proud, sovereign giant.
The simulation was planned to mimic a common but potentially serious urban security threat: a suspicious vehicle driving through public areas, behaving in ways that could be interpreted as preparatory actions for a crime or attack. The idea was to create a realistic scenario that would activate every part of the new system, from the surveillance cameras to the command center to the mobile police response teams, all without alerting the public that it was a drill. The setup was handled with strict internal coordination. The vehicle was selected in advance, a black, unmarked SUV with no license plate and tinted windows. Its path through the city was loosely scripted, but the driver was given enough freedom to move naturally and create real unpredictability. His task was to drive slowly near key buildings, pause in front of government offices, and take confusing turns that would disrupt traffic patterns. The vehicle was outfitted with internal communication gear so that the operators involved in the test could monitor what was happening inside without needing visual confirmation from the street.
C'est au niveau du rond-point de l'École nationale de police.
No public announcement was made. No signs were posted. This was not a staged demonstration for cameras. It was a stress test of the system's ability to operate in normal, uncontrolled conditions, the same conditions it would face in a real threat. As soon as the vehicle entered the designated surveillance zone, the system began tracking it automatically. The surveillance cameras installed along the main avenues and sensitive intersections picked it up without manual prompts. Each camera along the path captured the vehicle's position, speed, direction, and proximity to critical points. The live footage was sent to the command center, where operators watched the situation develop in real time. Within minutes, the vehicle had been flagged internally for unusual behavior. Its irregular path, repeated stops near sensitive areas, and lack of identification all contributed to a threat score based on preset behavior models in the system. At this point, the human operators took over. Using their live feed access and internal communication software, they began building a short threat profile: vehicle type, estimated number of occupants, travel pattern, and most likely next move. From there, they selected the nearest available response unit, a two-man police team on motorbikes stationed in the sector, and transmitted all the necessary information directly to their mobile devices. The officers received a summary of the vehicle's last 3 positions, a current image from the most recent camera feed, and a notification to intercept if safe. No sirens were used, no roadblocks were set up. The goal was to handle the situation quickly and calmly without drawing attention. The officers approached the vehicle as it slowed at a roundabout not far from a government office. They pulled up from behind, identified the target visually, and executed the stop without confrontation. The driver immediately identified himself as part of the simulation, and the operation was officially marked as complete. The entire process, from the moment the vehicle entered the surveillance grid to the point of interception, took less than 12 minutes. That short time frame was a breakthrough. In previous years, a situation like this would have taken at least half an hour to detect, communicate, and respond to. Sometimes it would not be addressed at all unless someone called it in. What the simulation proved was that the new system could handle a complex urban tracking operation without needing public input or guesswork from officers. It also showed that real-time decision-making, when supported by coordinated technology, is not only possible but practical, even with a modest-sized police force and basic urban infrastructure. Officials who oversaw the simulation reported that every system checkpoint performed as expected. The cameras responded in real time. The command center processed information without delay. The police unit responded accurately, without needing additional verification. No member of the public was endangered or alarmed during the test, and the vehicle's presence went mostly unnoticed. Internally, the simulation was considered a success. It revealed a few technical areas for improvement, such as the need for wider camera coverage in certain districts and faster handoffs between operators on shift. But it confirmed the system's basic functionality under real-world conditions. More importantly, it demonstrated to the Burkina Faso leadership that Security S24/7 wasn't just an idea on paper. It was a working mechanism that could be deployed every day to strengthen control over the capital without relying on foreign agencies, foreign intel, or international donors. Now that the simulation had proven the system worked in principle, the next task was to scale it and to make it sustainable. But before that could happen, the public needed to understand what had changed. Behind the cameras and command screens was a deeper shift, not just in how crime would be handled, but in how the entire relationship between the state and the city was about to evolve. Behind the smooth operation that played out in public during the simulation lies a tightly organized, technology-driven system built to function constantly and without interruption. Security S24/7 was never designed as a static camera network. It is not just about watching. It is about reading, processing, evaluating, and acting. To do that, it needs more than hardware. It requires a fully operational structure that moves in coordination, second by second. At the heart of Security S24/7 is a central command facility, located in a restricted government-controlled building in Ouagadougou. From the outside, it looks like any standard administrative complex, but inside is where the real machinery runs. This control room functions as the city's central brain. Every surveillance feed from across the capital, from traffic intersections, markets, public buildings, and major roads, streams directly into this center. The footage comes in live and unfiltered. What matters is not just the quantity of information, but the system's ability to identify what's relevant in real time. The live camera feeds are displayed across a wall of high-definition monitors, each manned by trained surveillance operators. These are not just passive watchers. They are specialists trained to recognize patterns, detect behavioral anomalies, and escalate situations according to a strict internal protocol. Most of these operators come from within Burkina Faso. They've been trained locally, in modules that combine video surveillance handling with real-time decision support, all tailored to the unique urban environment of Ouagadougou. The software behind Security S24/7 is designed to assist, not replace, human analysis. Artificial intelligence tools support the process by detecting irregularities in movement, such as a vehicle stopping where it shouldn't, people gathering in odd locations, or sudden shifts in crowd direction. The system doesn't automatically act on this data. Instead, it flags the behavior, displays it on screen, and passes it to human operators for review. This is where the design stands apart from many imported systems. It doesn't over-automate. It keeps final control in the hands of trained officers who understand the local context. Once a situation is flagged and reviewed, operators work in coordination with a decision supervisor in the command center. This person is responsible for validating the threat level, assigning urgency, and choosing the correct response path. This could range from simple monitoring to full intervention. If intervention is necessary, the next link in the chain is activated, the Mobile Response Network. Security S24/7 maintains an integrated channel with selected rapid response units. These are mobile police teams equipped with real-time communication devices, and in some cases, vehicle-mounted tablets or displays that allow them to receive visual data as they move. When a decision is made to act, these units receive a full situational update, the nature of the threat, its location, any related footage, and a route recommendation. From that moment, they stay in live contact with the command center as they move. The operators can watch their progress and provide updates if the situation changes or if new footage comes in from different angles. But the system isn't just about moving people. It also learns. Every incident, once closed, is logged and archived, not only for administrative records, but for review and pattern analysis. This means that over time, Security S24/7 begins to build a library of past cases. What worked, what didn't, how threats developed, and how they were stopped. This data can be used to fine-tune response protocols, adjust camera placements, and even anticipate threats based on repeated patterns in certain neighborhoods or at specific times. What makes the system powerful is its speed. Information moves within seconds from the street to the command center to the police. There's no reliance on third-party communication apps or fragmented radio calls. Everything is internal, encrypted, and direct. Operators don't need to wait for someone to call in a complaint. If something suspicious is happening in front of a camera, the system sees it, flags it, and begins the process before the first word is spoken. Importantly, the command center doesn't function in isolation. It's part of a broader emergency infrastructure that includes local police stations, municipal offices, and civil protection units. In cases where incidents involve public safety beyond crime, such as fire outbreaks, crowd panic, or road accidents, the same system can reroute emergency services with the same coordination model. This makes Security S24/7 more than a policing tool. It's evolving into a multi-use urban response system. In terms of operational philosophy, the system is designed to be preventive rather than punitive. It's not there to watch everyone or to criminalize daily life. Its focus is on identifying behavior that could lead to disruption and addressing it before it escalates. Whether that means stopping a vehicle that doesn't belong in a government zone or detecting a crowd forming in a vulnerable area, the goal is the same: stabilize before chaos begins. The internal workflow is governed by national rules, but adjustments are constant. Every week, operations staff review logs, examine how different incidents were handled, and update internal playbooks. This is part of the system's learning loop, a mechanism that ensures it doesn't remain static or make the same mistakes twice. Security S24/7 was not imported. It was not imposed. It was built for Ouagadougou by Burkina Faso authorities with a real understanding of the city's rhythm. The fact that it works is not a surprise to those who operate it daily. Do you think, with this step, Burkina Faso will be safer? Should locals still feel insecure? Let us know in the comments section. France said, Africa won't be able to protect itself without the West. So what it has to say about S24/7? Do you want to watch more videos like this one? If so, subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon next to it. We have decided to bring videos on something nobody talks about: the Black culture, civilization, history, and evidence about how glorious Blacks have been. Thanks for watching, and until the next video, stay tuned.
Merci.